Good Monday Matters. I hope you had a wonderful Sabbath and are enjoying a new week and all the things that God has in store for you. My name is Mike Courtney, and this is Monday Matters. Every Monday, I take a few minutes and talk about something to make your life happier, healthier, and perhaps a little bit holier. I started a conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I just keep being drawn back to that. And so I want to talk about it one more time. I kind of was surprised at my. I'm not as good a communicator as I think I am sometimes. I started this, I think, on the week of my birthday, which was a couple of weeks ago. A quote by Martin Luther, when asked, "What would you do if you knew you had one more day on earth?" Martin Luther responded, "I would plant an apple tree." And I came out of that saying my passion as I'm entering into the last season of my life at this age, if it's 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, it's the last season. So my I want to plant apple trees. I want to plant apple trees. Well, a lot of people took that literally. I am not going to plant apple trees. I'm not going to go to the co-op and buy apple trees and go around like Johnny Appleseed and plant apple trees. What Martin Luther meant, I think, and what I mean is that I want to do something for the next generation. I want to do something that I won't necessarily benefit from, but that will be a legacy left for those people who come behind me. At this point in my life, if I literally plant an apple tree, literally, I probably would never eat an apple off that apple tree. I don't know how long it takes, but my guess is it takes 10, 15 years for it to begin to bear fruit. So there's a good chance I would not eat an apple from that apple tree. Uh, so I want to do things that impact the kingdom for good, well beyond me. I want to look beyond me. Apple tree, and so that has prompted some questions. So tonight I want to talk about the 5 questions that you might ask as you begin to think about leaving a legacy or planting an apple tree. These 5 questions, and I'm not going to go in great detail on them, but I will end with a Bible verse, kind of an application. Here are the 5 questions. So I begin thinking, okay, how do I leave a legacy? What do I do? What do I do in this last season of my life? Here are the questions that I have begun to ask. Number one, what gifts do I have? What makes me think I can leave apple trees? What makes me think there is something? And if I think, what gifts do I have? One of the gifts that you have, by the way, I think, is your story. I think I talked about this a little bit before, but just your experiences. So that what gifts do I have? I'm I thought I was a better communicator than I am. I like to write, those kinds of things. What gifts do you have? That when it comes to planting an apple tree, that's an important question. Here's the second one. Where is my circle of influence? Who do I influence? Listen, I will tell you one thing. Not only will I not eat an apple off of my apple tree, uh, Donald Trump won't. Patrick Mahomes won't. Uh, uh, Pope Leo won't. There are people that are way beyond my sphere of influence, and that's okay. But there are a few people. My grandkids might. There are some people that I influence. Um, where is your circle of influence? That start there in figuring out how to leave a legacy, what to do. What gifts do I have? Where's my circle of influence? Um, Here's the third thing. What are my passions? What am I excited about? Let me tell you one thing I am passionate about. At this point in my life, I am passionate about discipleship, and particularly discipleship for men. Helping men to go deeper in their faith, to get closer to God, to be apple tree planters. I am passionate about that. And so, especially if you are in a later season in your life, don't waste your time planting apple trees where you're not passionate. What are you passionate about? What gifts do I have? Where's my circle of influence? What am I passionate about? Um, Here's The third thing, or the fourth thing. One thing is learning to write better. That would probably be uh, who, what. I don't know. I can't read that. So let me go to the fifth thing, and then I'll come back to the fourth thing. Here's the fifth thing. Where's my call? Where do I feel called? What do I feel like God is wanting me to do? What do I feel like God says, this, go do this, go here, plant this, take this drink of water to this person. What gifts do I have? Where is my circle of influence? What are my passions? Where is my call? And finally, who, I don't know. I can't read. I can't read that one. So if I ever think of it, I'll add it too. Those four things at least. As you begin thinking about leaving a legacy, making a difference, ask yourself these questions: what gifts do you have? Where's your circle of influence? What are you passionate about? And where's your call? What are you called to do? Here's a verse of scripture that helps with that. I think it prompts some questions for me. 2 Corinthians 2:15. Paul is in fact thinking about leaving a legacy. He will finish this with that famous kind of legacy statement. The time of my departure is at hand. I'm ready to be offered as a drink offering. I fought a good fight. I finished the course. I fit the fight. He's thinking about in chapter 4 his legacy, his apple trees. But before that, in chapter 2, he says this to Timothy. He says, work hard, verse 15, work hard so that you can present yourself to God and receive his approval. Be a good worker who does not need to be ashamed and who correctly explains the word of truth. So here are 3 more questions to help you in determining your apple tree, your legacy. Is the job well done? Work hard. When you're finished, when you're all done, will they say, he did a good job. He didn't accomplish huge things, wasn't famous, but he did a good job. Is the job well done? Second one is this: is the Lord well pleased? Work hard as someone who would be pleasing to God. Is the Lord well pleased? Is the job well done? Is the Lord well pleased? And then the final one is, he said, who rightly divides the word of truth. Is the word well used? Whatever my passions, whatever my call, whatever my circle of influence, whatever my gifts, whatever my apple tree might be, these things are most important. Do I do a good job? Is the Lord pleased? And have I used the word well? I'll probably come back to that again. I'm really thinking about that a lot in this season as I think through some changes in my life and kind of some direction that I'm supposed to go. So apple tree stuff. I'll keep talking about apple tree stuff. In the meantime, you have a blessed week. Thanks for being a part of this. If I ever think of that 5th question, I will let you know. Have a great night, a great day. God bless you, and have a wonderful week.